Hi, I'm Bernie Wild. This is a beginner's overview of an RV control panel on a Montana 3402RL, but it's likely to be similar to other models. Be sure to watch this video all the way to the end because you may pick up a tip that you've forgotten along the way, or maybe even spark an idea. And also there's a bonus tip at the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Okay, this first switch is to turn the ceiling fan on and off. And it also has a control on the ceiling fan that switches it from warm to cold weather. I call it winter and summer modes, but the warm mode, when it's switched into that position, it makes the blades turn in a counterclockwise position, which forces the air down to create a wind chill effect. When it's in the other cold position, it creates an updraft to circulate the warm air down and outward. And a couple of tips about the ceiling fan that you might find useful is, one, I have put labels on the cords so that I know which one is the light and which one controls the fan speed. So I found that to be helpful when I go over to them. I'm always forgetting which cord is for what, so that helps me there. It might help you. Another one is to be sure that all the screws are tightened. The vibration from travel might cause them to fall out. I've had that happen, and I know others that it's happened to. So that's just a little tip there that might save you some trouble sometime along the way. This next set of switches are the tank heaters, fresh, black, and gray. And these are obviously used when it's cold to keep your tanks from freezing. These particular tank heaters are electric heaters that are actually configured to the tanks. Now, some people may have rigs that are using forced air from the furnace. Others put heat lamps or lights of some type underneath of their rigs to help keep their tanks warm when it's freezing out. This next set of switches controls some lights. This one is for the LED vaulted crown molding lighting, which provides accent lighting and creates an open feeling. This next one is the ODS, or opposite door side flood. This is great when you have to deal with the hookups at nighttime. And there's a door side flood, and this also controls the LED light at the hitch for hooking up. Okay, these are the water heater switches. One's for gas and one's for electric. I use the gas when I'm not hooked up to electric, and I turn the electric one on immediately after connecting to shore power. Water pump switch. This is used when dry camping or boondocking. Have another set of light switches. There's a ceiling light, which controls the two lights in the ceiling near the door. These are also on a door switch, similar to an automobile. There's a porch light just above the door, and that has an amber lens on it. Some believe these are good for keeping bugs away. I haven't noticed any difference with that whatsoever. The next switch controls the cap lights. These are LED lights that look like little blinking eyes on the front of the cap. This switch here is used to retract and extend the awning. A few things that I like to keep in mind about the awning is that when it's windy, or I think it's going to be windy, or someone reports that it's going to be windy, I usually try to get the awning in. I don't take any chances with it. I also keep the movable parts lubricated with a silicone spray. And as much as it's possible, I try to stow the awning only when it is completely dry. Now, that's quite a challenge in some areas of the country, but in so much as it's possible, try not to ever put your awning away when it's wet. Awning light, that's LED lighting that extends the length of the awning, and it's great versatile lighting for outdoors. These two switches here control the slides. There's a slide room. This controls 3 of the slides: the kitchen, the media or entertainment area, and the dining living room slide. This one is the bed slide for the bedroom. The bed slide is an electric motor. The others are hydraulic. These can also be controlled in the slide room can also be controlled outside individually with some switches. There are some system monitors. Battery. Usually only use this when I'm not hooked up to shore power and I want to find out what my current battery levels are. I have a couple Trojan deep cycle batteries currently out there. Fresh water. Only fill this up when I'm boondocking or dry camping or headed that way. And I'll typically keep some water, about a third of a tank, on hand so that anywhere that I'm traveling, if something comes up that I need water, I'll have it with me. There's a couple black tank buttons. This particular rig has one 50-gallon black tank. The fresh, by the way, is 66 gallons. The 50-gallon black tank, there's only one. The second one is just for other rigs that just happen to have it installed. This one does not. And there are two gray tanks. One is for the galley and the other for the shower and the bedroom and bathroom sinks. Now these black and gray indicators, they've never been accurate since we've had this rig brand new, and others that we've talked to with similar, even more expensive rigs, all have said that they've never been accurate in theirs. We've even refrained from putting paper in ours. We've used all of the prevailing chemicals that are out there. We've filled the tank with fresh water 4 and 5 times after we empty to back flush it. We put it on an angle. We've done all the tips and tricks that people have said. The fact of the matter is that these indicators, these magnets or whatever that are in these tanks, they're not good. They're just not up to par with what the task is. So anyway, we just ignore these. We pretty much got an idea of when our tanks, this has just been emptied, by the way, and it says it's full. And the gray is completely open now. There's no water in there. So these indicators, we just completely ignore those. And this DSI fault light that's up here is the direct spark ignition fault. And it generally indicates there's a problem with the hot water heater. So depending on the rig you have, that's where to start troubleshooting. This control box here is for our ceiling fan and vent. And there are 3 of these located throughout the RV. And this particular one is the one just above the kitchen counter. So we'll use this to help vent when cooking, as well as to help circulate the air to get some of the warm air out of here when it's too hot inside. And this will also cut off automatically when it's raining. We just happen to have a hood over the top of this so that we can leave it open when it's raining anyway, so that doesn't really apply to this one, but our other 2 will cut off when it's raining. This bonus tip is about RV water pressure. If you're new to RVing, you may have been told that you need one of these pressure regulators that keeps your water pressure between 40 and 50 psi. However, that could be outdated information if you have a newer rig. So check with your manufacturer to find out what the psi rating is for your plumbing, and you can then test the water with a pressure gauge to find out what the park's water pressure is at. If you experience a sudden drop in water pressure, it may be due to a clogged water filter, so you might need to change that. Thank you for watching.